We are here today to have the best time we could ever have and that anyone could ever have in the entire world. I'm so grateful to be with you here today. It's an amazing time to be alive with you, our friends, our loved ones, our neighbors. How do we feel about our neighbors in this time, on this planet, and in this world? How do we feel about each other? How do we feel about the things that we have used to feel? How do we feel about the things we will feel in the future? Does that make any sense? I don't really know, but I'm so grateful to be here with you today and to experience life with all of you, my friends. You know, maybe we woke up today with a little bit of anxiety. Maybe we woke up today with a little bit of fear. Maybe we woke up today not sure how it is that we should act and how it is that we should move forward with our lives. Madison, welcome. How do I sound? I tried to do some cool stuff to my voice. Am I too loud? Am I too cool? Am I too uncool? Am I too fat? Am I too thin? Am I too ugly? Am I too pretty? These are the questions we may have, and they're all valid questions that we have about the world. So we want to welcome in everybody on Substack. We want to welcome in everybody across all of the streams. And we want to say that you are loved, you are supported, you are a beautiful being of light in this world. And we are grateful for you. We are grateful for you in every moment. We are grateful for you every moment of every day. You are a beautiful being of light. And you need to know that every day and every night. What we do in this world is we are constantly working and interacting with and engaging with our friend fear. Our friend fear, who we need to embrace. What am I doing? CapCut, your updated project is saved. Okay, back up and replace. Back up later. Your updated project is saved. Upload to CapCut Cloud Space. Back up later. Okay, sorry. We're messing around with CapCut ourselves over here. So we want to welcome in all of our friends and loved ones. We want you to tap on that screen, figure out how to share all of this, get people motivated to save the nation with information. And so we were talking to everybody about, you know, how they interact with the world, how they love each other, how they love other people. How will you love someone today? How will you lift someone up today? How will you be a fact warrior in a world that we know is injected with fear at all times? A world that we know is a place that is fear's playground. Fear, of course, being the giant dickhead in the sky who wants to hurt us, who does not want us to enjoy our lives. And so we see those little dickheads, those scared little boys out there in the world. And so Deuce does sound very good. And he's so excited about how good he sounds. And so that's beautiful too. Uploaded the IRS song and a clip from it to the Dropbox. And if it didn't occur to me until that you just wouldn't know that. Oh, Madison, we are so grateful for you. And so we want everyone, David, I've turned it into an interactive call-in show on the on Substack. So we've got that going. We're trying to make sure that the bit rate is pretty good. We're getting messages about it clipping, but who friggin' cares? We are having a great day here today. We've got Madison making videos for the old Deuce Meister. My fiance made me a video last night and it looks really cool. She made it in CapCut and we're so excited. We're so excited to bring you all messages of love and of joy, of forgiveness, of acceptance, and of pushing back against fear's program in this world at all times. So come on in. We are going to get started. We are going to ask people what their media diet is. We are going to ask people to share and call in and tell us what their media diet is. We are going to sing a couple of songs. Oh, you know what? Check this out, guys. Now, do I have to go into, let's see. Hold on. Mod Streamlabs. Oh, shnikes. What? This is the name people will know you by on Twitch. You can always change it later. What? Guys, I tried to do moderation and now I don't understand. What tarnation? Hey, DEO, how are you? We are going to get going with the program here. Sorry, Rev Deuce is just trying to figure out some stuff always. You know, I added that picture that you made for me, Madison, of a handshake and it's Rev Deuce and technical difficulties. I did add that at one point. But I guess I don't know how to do moderation. And so, what in tarnation indeed. It just said you're just supposed to type mod Streamlabs. Have an account, log in. Log in. Okay. Okay, give me 1 second, everybody. It's okay. Everybody relax. It's okay. Everybody relax. This is standard procedure for the show is that it starts with technical difficulties. And David sometimes says he likes that, but sometimes it's got to get frustrating. So we're just going to go find our Twitch password. And that's going to be so much fun. And we're going to do that. And what is your Twitch password? Why don't you type it into the chat so that Deuce can ruin your life? You know what I mean? Isn't that fun idea? So we're going to copy that Twitch password. We're going to know that our name is Public Enlightenment because of course it is. And then we're going to just get into the news with Deuce pretty soon. So if you're joining us on Substack, Ko Iguchi, we're going to start talking about the news with Deuce. This is a religion based on the tenets of quality improvisational comedy. That is true. Oh, here we go. Welcome to the chat room. This has been your technical difficulty moment brought to you by your old pal, Deuce. I guess I'm going to type this again. Public Enlightenment granted moderator privileges to Streamlabs. Well, that's exciting. Let's see what happens with that. And I don't know if I'm supposed to do something on YouTube to moderate, but maybe I don't need to because I have it popping up in the Streamlabs thing. So this is fun. I put some messages in there yesterday, gang. So Ko Iguchi and DEO, what we do here is we connect with one another. We learn about the world with one another. And we support one another in a world that is full of anger and violence and cruelty and hatred and domination. And so what we're going to do next is we are going to bring up the information zone. That's what we call it. We call it the information zone, friends. And so we're going to go into the settings of the information zone and we're going to pull up Rev Deuce's Gmail? No, we're going to pull up our live in case any MAGA folks come in. We want to go toe-to-toe with our MAGA friends and bring them back onto the fact-based stream of information in this world, because that's the big problem that we all have, is that we are not all on a fact-based stream of information at all times. And so we want to do something about that. Now, I think we're just going to say that we're just going to say goodbye to, oh, actually, no, here we go. Get rid of that, and then that's a different method. We're totally glitching out on Substack right now, and that's okay. So here we go, everybody. What a maniac your old pal Deuce is. Can never seem to get it together. So there we go. That's the one, I believe. Done. No, that's not the one. You guys, we are having so much fun figuring out technology every single day. It is such a joy to be figuring out technology every single day. We've got the chat mods going today. That's exciting. And so here we are, and now we're in the space. And we're ready for you to call into the show. Hey, Jim Shin, let's start talking about the news, shall we? We're going to read the news with your old pal Rev Deuce. And Substack is glitching out. We do not know why that would be. Is it glitching out everywhere else? How fun and exciting. What is this? Okay, that's interesting. All right, so everybody, let's get into the news, shall we? This is a terrifying story out of, now what's going on with that? Oh, fascinating. So this is a terrifying story. After a month of searching, man learns from NBC News that DHS sent his brother to El Salvador. Okay, so that is just one more iteration of this contravening of people's rights and basic human decency that is occurring in our world. So this Venezuelan man, he was forcefully disappeared, according to his family. And so we want to check in on that. So their mother went to a detention center in Caracas because this is a Venezuelan man. Sometimes they were told that Adrian was still in detention. They enlisted advocacy groups. He has he has children. LULAC, which is an organization that supports Latino communities across the country, is talking about it. The Rangel family's experience echoes the experiences of others who have encountered the Trump administration's mass deportation efforts. Sometimes their family members seemingly disappear. And how terrifying is that? Does anybody deserve that in this world? Does anybody deserve that in this world? But let alone if they are not the hardened criminals that our government is pretending that folks are. Do you know what I mean? So we are dropping frames on Substack. We can't tell you why. We love you anyway, and we're grateful for you. So the government is saying that he entered our country illegally in 2023 from Venezuela and is an associate of Tren de Aragua. They will ask for details and documents supporting their allegation of criminality. McLaughlin, who's that lady that we've seen in a bunch of videos, she said, "We aren't going to share intelligence reports and undermine national security every time a gang member blah, blah, blah." So that's not very cool, is it? We are just going to do some things to make sure that the Substack is okay because it keeps glitching out and we don't know why. But so that's terrifying. His family denies he's a member of a gang. He came to the United States through the CBP1 app. His brother provided a printout. He applied for temporary protective status. In November, his car wasn't working, so he got a ride with a coworker. Police stopped him and detained them both after they found a marijuana trimmer in the coworker's vehicle. So he was just a passenger in the vehicle, and his coworker had some drug paraphernalia, and they charged this person, Adrian, with the charge of the drug paraphernalia. David, yes, I think many of us do disagree. And so this person was so worried about this that he even covered up a tattoo that they said was a gang tattoo. It was a tattoo about his wife. It was a crown with her initials in it. And so he covered that up even and got a tiger tattoo. So, you know, if you are a hardcore gang member, hey, Hella Sausage, a marijuana trimmer, I don't really know. I mean, to me, that's scissors. Like if you've ever trimmed leaves before of any kind, certainly not cannabis. I don't know what you can say or not say on these other places. So first of all, Hella Sausage, we love you. Thanks for the follow. Oh gosh, I need to put on the things that notify me of these things. Exactly, Hella Sausage. I mean, I guess, you know, they're producing so much of this stuff that they need all the bits and bobbles and dips and dobbles that they can. So I guess it's probably just a beard trimmer that was soaked in keef. You know what I mean? That's probably what it was. So anyway, that's what's going on with that. Hella Sausage, what's your media diet? We'd love to talk to you about your media diet. We would also love to talk to you about what your fears are. We could improvise a song and we could debunk disinfo and you could, of course, donate. But we need to prove to you why you should donate over time here. And so we're so grateful for you. And Sarah Fink, welcome on in. Welcome. Join the space today. We're going to go back to the screen share tub. But first, we want to remind everyone that this program is brought to you, as always, by Grass Milk. Grass Milk. Soar. And we also want to remind them that at all times they are in an information war. So in the midst of the information war, are you standing up for everyone's media diet? And are you sucking down information light? Or are you getting sexy with information tight? Yes, and so Hella Sausage, we are talking about where you get your news and information from, because what we understand in this world is that our problems, right? We talk about the world, we talk about our fears, but we recognize that we have a program of fear inundating us at all times in this world. Because our problems, the reason why we're at each other's throats in this country, the reason why we have a culture war is because it has been manufactured by the psychological arms dealers of the right-wing think tanks who program our media and information ecosystem to manipulate us and to have us being at each other's throats, and to, while they're doing that, talk about how the left is spreading disinformation, how the media is left and liberal, and how instead of what we know it to be, which is a commercial corporate enterprise. And so we're so grateful for you, Hella Sausage, and we want to honor your fears. So Hella Sausage put into the chat that their fears are the ocean and horse archers, and so we want to say we hear your fear, Hella Sausage, and we are grateful for having heard it. We also want to say we hear your fear of the ocean and horse archers, and we love you and support you. And so maybe at home, quietly under your breath, you could say, these are my fears and I embrace them, because we know that on the other side of fear's embrace at all times is the opportunity for joy. So as improvisers in the Megachurch of Joy, we recognize that it is better to work on our relationship with fear so that we can experience joy, the joy of human connection. And we're connecting with you, Hella Sausage, and we love you so much. And we think that you're a wonderful person, and you are a rock star, and you probably are able to tell the difference between a good rock and a bad rock. You probably can parallel park in 20 seconds or less, and you just dropped an emoji of someone whose face is melting into the ground. We can't tell, but if that's what you look like, how beautiful you are. You have a receding hairline and a little bit of a goatee, and we love that, and that's beautiful because you are a beautiful being of light. And look at all these emojis coming in. That's exciting. Now, we're still waiting for the moderator to get involved, the auto mod that we created the other day. But let's get back into the news with Rev Deuce, because that's a lot of what we do here. And we want to just hear people and what they have to say in all of our spaces today. We do not know how to make the video quality improve. We've got the bit rate pretty jacked up. But whatever, we're just doing it live. Fuck it, we're doing it live. So we are not criminal people. We are people who studied professions in Venezuela. We had careers. We're not people who are linked with any of that. So this is all to point out that this is just a perpetuation of, we have to trust the government, who we know is full of liars and corrupt people. We know that Pam Bondi, do we all know about Pam Bondi's corruption? The current Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi, Florida, Trump, corruption. Okay, do we know about this? Do we know that these are corrupt people? With actual, lots of, here we go. The Trump Foundation, Pam Bondi scandal. Crew is a respectable source of information. This goes back to 2016. Discovered that the Trump Foundation had broken the law by giving an illegal $25,000 contribution to a political group supporting Pam Bondi. Charitable foundations like the Trump Foundation are not allowed to engage in politics. Even more problematic was the fact that the contribution was given as Bondi's office was deciding whether to take legal action related to Trump University. This would set off an investigation, which would lead to one of the biggest stories of the year. Here's how it went down. So in February 2008, the Florida Office of the Attorney General received 22 complaints regarding Trump University. New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman filed a lawsuit against Trump. Then in September of 2013, the Orlando Sentinel reported that we are currently reviewing the allegations in the New York lawsuit. This is the Office of Attorney General, of Florida. Then in 2013, Donald Trump Foundation made a $25,000 contribution to a political group backing Pam Bondi. Then which was illegal for a 501c3 private organization. Then, according to documents turned over in response to a public records request, the Office of the Attorney General told reporters there was no consideration of whether to join the New York lawsuit. Then the Tampa Bay Times reports that Injustice for All, the Pam Bondi support group, acknowledged receiving the contribution. Then, despite previously acknowledging the 22 complaints to reporters, internal emails show that between October 17th and 18th, 2013, that the office of Pam Bondi employees weeded out any complaint about Trump Institute and related entities to claim there was only one complaint. Okay, so they took action based upon this bribe. In its 2013 taxes, the Trump Foundation claims it made no donations to political entities and replaces I gotta see what's going on in the multi-chat. Similar groups of that crew files a complaint. Trump representatives admit to the illegal donation, blaming an increasing series of clerical errors. Okay, that's like saying, like, oh, honey, I didn't mean to cheat on you. Her blouse fell open and I tripped and I landed right in between her bosom. You know, that's pretty hilarious. So Crew Executive Director Noah Bookbinder wrote an op-ed summarizing some of the troubling findings. This was all leading up to the 2016 election. Bondi tells the Tampa Bay Lions, I was never, nor was my office investigating him. Never. I would never lie. I would never take money. I've been obviously devastated over this. So that is a lie that she would never lie, because we know that she's lying currently about some of the victims of this unconstitutional exiling program. So, okay, there we go. Crew filed criminal bribery complaints against Trump and Bondi. Welcome from Belarus, Hella Sausage. We love you. We're so grateful to have you here with us today. If you are here watching on Substack, could you please tap that heart screen? And could you please tell everyone you know about this? Hella Sausage, it is the afternoon for you. Okay, beautiful. All right, so that's what's going on. We are learning about Pam Bondi, and yes, I will drop this into the I'm going to drop this into the Discord. How beautiful. What a beautiful morning to be a fact warrior. So what we do here, Hella Sausage, is at all times we are spreading facts when we are online, because even in Belarus, you know that the global authoritarians are out to get all of us. So what's Rev Deuce going to do right now, and what should everyone else do at home right now? You should go to your social media. We're just going to do fact warrior activism like live every day. That's what Rev Deuce has decided. So you can do this along with Rev Deuce. He's dropped it into the Discord. And you can, and so what I'm going to do, a reminder that the people who are currently advancing fascism at the, oh, you can't see this? Oh, yeah, you can. A reminder that the people who are currently advancing fascism in America are corrupt liars who continue to lie. It would be so great if our mainstream media were able to focus the public's attention on the history of corruption and ties to Christian nationalism, that we're able to focus the public's attention on the history of corruption and that extends throughout the Trump administration. So, oh no, throughout. Well, I can't do too much of writing this live. That's boring. Trump admin. Okay, great. Post. Perfect. We love that. Kathy Johnson, welcome. We are doing it live. We are being fact warriors, spreading fact-based information on our live stream so that you can spread fact-based information wherever you are. The real Madison, Pam Bondi, looks exactly like my old coworker who was hella MAGA. Well, you know, a blonde young woman can be pretty hella MAGA. Caitlin Johnson, welcome. We are reading the news with Rev Deuce. That's what we do every morning here, 9 to 11 a.m. We're so grateful to have you, and we love you and support you. We want to hear everything about your life. We want to hear your media diet and everything. So if you want to call into the show, we would love to talk to you. So we just were looking at this story about another person who's been disappeared by our federal government. And what we were doing with that was we were moving on to show that, you know, the people who are lying to us about these people who committed no crime other than coming here to seek asylum, and then that is not a crime that is worthy of being brought to a prison in a country that is not your own, possibly for the rest of your life. I think many of us understand that, but also seemingly many of us do not. Let's keep going through the news with Deuce. U.S. citizen wrongly detained by Border Patrol says government account is false. We love Judd Legum here. We love info. What is it called? Popular information. We love popular information here. We're huge fans. So let's just zoom a Luma ding dong in on this. So U.S. citizen wrongly detained by Border Patrol says government account is false. So Jose Hermosillo was held in a detention facility for undocumented immigrants for 10 days. What's exciting about this story for popular information is that they are the first ones to interview this young man. So this young man, he tells his own story, and he speaks back against the government program of disinformation. I mean, who are we going to believe? People who we know publicly to be liars, who lied about elections, who are corrupt individuals, as we just saw with Pam Bondi, and who sign on to work for someone who everyone knows is one of the most corrupt figures in American history, let alone global history? Or are we going to trust just regular American citizens? So here we go. They said that he identified himself as a Mexican citizen. They said that he walked up to them at a border patrol, stating that he had illegally entered the United States. This was all taken down by a border patrol agent named Jose. So here is what Hermosillo has to say about DHS's account. He says it was false. He says, according to him, he was visiting his girlfriend's family in Tucson. Okay, several hours before the arrest, he was transported to the hospital by ambulance after suffering a seizure. He has a New Mexico state ID, but he did not take it with him during his medical emergency. After being released from the hospital following treatment, Hermosillo did not know how to return to where he was staying. He approached the Border Patrol officer looking for help. He said he saw a car and he asked him for help. God forbid you ask for help in this country. You're not from here. Do you have your papers? The officer said. When the officer asked where he was from, Hermosillo said he told the officer New Mexico, not Mexico. The officer then accused Hermosillo of lying. Don't make me out like I'm stupid. I know you're from Mexico. And then he was arrested. A U.S. citizen. Good morning, Jason Dyer. We love you so much. How will you tap that screen today? How will you tap that heart symbol? How will you, wherever you are across the world, let people know about what we do here every single morning? Yes, and thank you so much. We love you. We are going through some of the violent actions of the U.S. government against actual citizens. We are recounting this story reported in popular information. Hella Sausage is making a wonderful statement that is so true. It's crazy they won't admit wrongful imprisonment for political persons. Now, I'm wondering why my automated things aren't coming in. Even Bukele, the president of El Salvador, said he was wrongfully convicted. He has wrongfully convicted dozens of innocent people. Exactly. But, you know, so the thing about that, Hella Sausage, is like, is that the focus of our mainstream corporate media in America? I know you're in another country, but what we talk about here is the way that consent is manufactured, the filters that information goes through before it reaches all of us. And when we have a mainstream corporate system for informing the public, the problem there is that they want to maintain the status quo. They do not want to upset the apple cart. And increasingly, we see the owners of many of these media media institutions, obeying in advance with Donald Trump. They want to get privileges for their other businesses that are before the United States government, seeking contracts and approvals for mergers and all of those kinds of things. And so it is a corrupted information environment that we have. While, yes, we do still have plenty of journalists who are working hard at these different institutions, they are never going to cover the things that matter the most to the public interest, like labor, like violations of civil rights, like protest movements, with the frequency and prominence that is required for the public to make decisions at the ballot box. We could clip that. That was pretty good. I don't know. My fiance isn't so keen on these clips. Okay, so here we go. Hermosillo said that he never told the officer that he was born in Mexico, was a citizen of Mexico, or entered the country illegally. And he would not have said those things because they are not true. He signed the transcript released by DHS because the officer ordered him to sign everything, but Hermosillo did not read it because he cannot read. According to his girlfriend, Hermosillo has learning disabilities and can only write his name. He did not graduate from high school after dropping out in the 10th grade. Here is a picture of his signature. The officer also signed the document, which said Hermosillo read the document or had it read to him, but Hermosillo said no one read him the document. So they've taken advantage of a young man. They have made him, sign this document under duress, and they have lied about him. And there are inaccuracies, as there often are in police matters. For example, the criminal complaint says that Hermosillo was detained at or near Nogales, but Hermosillo was detained in Tucson, which is more than 70 miles from Nogales. Nogales being much closer to the border. So I guess they're trying to, juice the story. They say the Border Patrol says that was an unintentional error. Okay. Hermosillo said he was detained with about 15 other men in a cell. He was served only cold food. He contracted the flu because it's cold and everybody's getting sick. He requested medicine but was not provided any. He tried to tell people at the correctional facility that he was a U.S. citizen but was dismissed. They say, tell your lawyer, he recalled. Hermosillo is a father to a 6-month-old, and he spent time while he was detained crying because he was afraid they're not going to let me out. And the article ends with him saying, when I dream, I am still in there. So we're going to put this into our Discord. We would love for you to join our Discord wherever you are across the world. We sometimes screen movies. This is going to be in the Fact Warrior section of our Discord. We sometimes stream movies. We do all kinds of fun stuff in there, and so we would love for you to be in there with us. Now, how can you tell someone that this is happening right now? How can you click on the screen, Jason and everyone else in Substack? Click that little heart button down there so that people are exposed to what we do here, which is do incredible things every single day. Now, one thing that had happened, speaking of incredible things every single day, when I thought that I would have a Twitch moderator, which I do not have. Let me try to do this one more time. Mod Streamlabs. It is already a moderator. You know what? I bet. Hold on. Let me check something really quick. I bet I didn't turn it on somehow. Okay, we're just going to take a brief break. Exactly, David. It is another push to push us to whoopie-doo. Hold on, let me get back into the main tub. Meanwhile, everyone, remember that you are at all times in an information war. I do not know how to access this thing. Bear with me, everybody. Roberta Gallagher, we are so grateful to have you here in the tub of joy with all of us. We do all of these things every single day. We talk about our information ecosystem. We talk about our fears. We talk about what it means to be a human being in this world at this time. And we want to hear from you. We want to hear everything about you. These timers appear to be on, so I do not know what the problem is. So that's it. Okay, great. Weird. This has been another technical difficulty moment with your old pal Deuce. He spent time last night creating moderator stuff, and of course it is not working. Perfect. Perfalurfa ding dong, as we like to say. So we're going to do mod, and then we're going to go Streamlabs with a capital S. And it says it's already a moderator of the channel, but it does not seem to be doing any of the things that I asked it to. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. We are having so much fun. How will you spread joy today? How will you be a fact warrior today? How will you make other people appear as rock stars today? Because that's what we do here. We talk to each other about what it means to be a human trying to connect in this world. Are you having trouble connecting with people? We want to hear from you. We want to hear about it. We want to hear all about it. We want to hear about your life, your loves, your failures, your successes, your dreams, and how fear interacts with you to undermine those dreams. And of course, as always, you can call into the show. The number is right there on your screen. And we are so grateful for all of you. So let's keep going through the news with Deuce. Thank you so much, Madison. I really appreciate that. It would be so cool to have the moderation stuff. I set it so that every 20 minutes it would prompt people to ask me to sing a song. I set it for a lot of stuff. And, okay, cool. Well, I'm so excited to be with you. So this is interesting. This is disinformation. And so we're going to turn this into a Deuce Debunks, we think. But so check this out, okay? I'm so sorry that we are on Twitter. You should not be on Twitter. This is a good time for us to remind everybody that Elon Musk is unwell. Elon Musk is unwell. He is acting out a program of fear and shame, of inadequacy, and he's lashing out at others and causing them to have pain in their lives. As always, this show is brought to you by Grass Milk. Grass Milk Soar. We are so in love with Jason Dyer, who says, I approach every day with compassion and dignity. That is amazing. Jason, use some of that compassion for your old pal Deuce to tap the heart screen on your Substack app, even though you are at work. Use your nose if your hands are not free. We're so grateful for you. Now let's watch this. This is Greg Kelly, and he's just blatantly sharing disinformation out of the blue. It must have been a slow day in the disinformation, and propaganda space in America. So they just made up this BS. This is a really dumb thing. I even saw so many people in the comments. I see so many people in the comments who are talking about in Twitter who are talking about how even the people who are on the side of MAGA think this is dumb.
President Trump, after he got shot in Butler, Pennsylvania. I've seen this video 1,000 times, but I never noticed what
how
I'm
weird
about to
that he's
show
watched it 1,000 times.
Here he is. He's one more fist bump before he gets in the vehicle. Now, there's this individual over here.
Thank you, Jason.
I don't know if he's Secret Service, State Police. He's got a weapon with him, a rifle. Watch what happens. On the radio there. He's pointing his weapon right inside the car. Now, why would he do that? One more time.
I mean, why would he have night vision goggles on his head? But why would he do that? Because he's not pointing. He's the car. Look at the angle of the car. He's obviously covering the other side of the car as there is bedlam, as people are moving around.
I would like to know who that is and why he did that, and I think we need the answer to that and about 15 million other questions answered about Butler, Pennsylvania.
Look at the way he looks at the camera. Look at the way he looks at the camera.
I think we need the answer to that and about 15 million other questions answered about Butler, Pennsylvania. President Trump.
I think we need the answer to 15 other questions asked about Butler, Pennsylvania. Ever heard of it? The home of the place where our Lord God, Donald Trump, was attempted to be assassinated. Oh my goodness gracious. How dumb is that? Okay. Now look at these comments. Oh, look at this. As many comments. There's a community note. Now we don't want to be on Twitter. It is a disinformation hellscape. But it says, as many commenters have noted, the armed soldier is covering the driver's side of the SUV. When viewing this video from the back of the limo, it's clear the soldier is standing off to the side and is not pointing the gun at Trump, who is protected by bulletproof glass. Incredible. So this is just how dumb the disinformation is at times. And we're not calling you dumb, MAGA. We love you. We know that everyone in this world is doing the best they can with what they have. But we just wanted to point out what people are absorbing in the disinformation spaces that have been created by the right-wing billionaires over the last 60 years. So here we go. Let's go and keep going through the news with Deuce. More from X. We had this was just bizarre. I mean, it's not bizarre. What we talk about all the time here is that the disinformation administration is attempting to spread even more disinformation by bringing right-wing media that is this guy was paid by Russia to spread disinformation. Actually, he was specifically Tim Pool was specifically paid hundreds of thousands of dollars by the Kremlin. This is real. This happened. Tenet Media, look it up. He was paid hundreds of thousands of dollars by the Kremlin to spread specifically like race war agitation and talking about how, white people are the victims of black violence. And he was also specifically boosting Elon Musk. That's what the Wired did a survey of all the videos that were potentially paid for by Russia to get Tim Pool to say. And so this is what happens is they're bringing into the White House press briefing room propagandists who then ask the propagandist at the podium a question that just perpetuates more propaganda. It's kind of a wild deal, okay?
Step on false narratives such as the Very Fine People hoax, the Covington smear, and now what's being called. Many of the news organizations that are represented in this room have marched in lockstep on false narratives such as the Very Fine People hoax, the Covington smear, and now what's being called the Maryland Man hoax, where an MS-13 gang member adjudicated by two different judges, I believe, is just simply being referred to as a Maryland man over and over again. Now, in an effort from the White House to expand access to new companies, you've created this new media seat. So I'm wondering if you can comment on, following this expansion, you've had numerous outlets disparage the companies that you've had sit here, as well as the reporters. I'm wondering if you could comment on the unprofessional behavior, as well as elaborate if there's any plans to expand access to new companies. Many of the news organizations that are represented in this
So
room
that's literally how the sausage is made,
false.
right? And let's see what they say. Rogue POTUS staff. Let's see what the commenters say about this. Oh, look at that. Well, look at that. I don't spend much time on Twitter, but I dropped the real deep state in there, doing my work to be a fact warrior every single time. These questions will get more due process than immigrants. Oh, boy, David, that's a funny one. We love that. We're grateful for that. But so I dropped this in here. Tim Pool is a paid-for Russian propagandist. All right, Dee. Was he demanding billions of taxpayer dollars? Is he president of a country? No. Okay, there's some pushback. Because he's a massive hypocrite, remember that it's required. Oh, look at this. Interesting. There's some pushback here. This must have come from a hey, Hella Sausage, do you want to get on the Discord from Belarus and talk to us about happens from both sides? Because we have lots to say about that. We know you are not in America absorbing our information stream, but we have plenty to say about that. And we'd love to understand your perspective on what's happening in the world from Belarus. So please, if you want to get in the Discord, we'd love to have you there. That is in the link tree that exists wherever it is that you are. So let us know if you want to call into the show. We'd love to talk to you. So let's keep going. So this is the anti-Christian bias task force, okay, that was created because, again, our government is full of the Christian nationalist billionaire apparatchiks who are working on behalf of the Christian billionaire program. Okay, so anti-Christian bias. Okay, so what we're talking about with anti-Christian bias is I'm going to show you this video. This is a very neutral video that came through. It is just like sort of describing some of the main pieces of what's going on here. Let me pull this video up for everybody. Bear with me, gang. We're pulling up a video that I saw today about this. Was it here? No, it was on TikTok. So let's pull up the videos on TikTok. A reminder, if you would like to be a fact warrior with us, we would love you to be a fact warrior with us. So you can always go to reposts. Reposts are things that Rev Deuce has vetted, and he's shared. Something went wrong with the server. Wow, lots going wrong with that server up there. What in the world? Why is it doing that? That is so weird. But here, we're going to watch this video just for a little bit of context, but it's pretty decontextualized.
Pam Bondi shared a photo of the first meeting of the task force to eradicate anti-Christian bias. But what is that? On February 6th, Donald Trump signed an executive order titled Eradicating Anti-Christian Bias. It stated its goal was to protect the religious freedoms of Americans and end the anti-Christian weaponization of government. The executive order criticizes the Biden administration for cases such as the conviction of a 75-year-old woman who participated in blocking entry to a health clinic as part of a pro-life protest. She was convicted under the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act. However, ex-users at the time claimed that a DC judge just sentenced 75-year-old Paulette Harlow, who is in poor health, for 2 years in prison for praying outside an abortion clinic. In the order, Trump states that his administration will not tolerate anti-Christian weaponization of government or unlawful conduct targeting Christians. In light of this,
Okay, so was there just a lie from the Trump administration?
75-year-old Paulette Harlow, who is in poor health, for 2 years in prison for praying outside an abortion clinic. In the order, Trump states that his administration will not be blocking entry to a health clinic as part of a pro-life protest. She was convicted under the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act. However, ex-users at the time claimed that a DC judge just sentenced 75-year-old Paulette Harlow, who is in poor health, for 2 years in prison for praying outside an abortion clinic. In the
Okay, so that's interesting. This video kind of slips in like a reference to like a misinformation, disinformation campaign that originated on X to say that this woman was simply praying and not blocking the space, but I guess a judge found that she was. So, okay, we don't know everything about that, but
order, Trump states that his administration will not tolerate anti-Christian weaponization of government or unlawful conduct targeting Christians. In light of this, he established a task force to address the issue, with Attorney General Pam Bondi as chair. The task force's main responsibilities, as outlined in the executive order, are to identify and address any anti-Christian policies enacted under the previous administration, and to lay out steps to revoke them. During the first task force meeting, Bondi emphasized their purpose, saying,
"The Department of Justice will protect religious liberty for Christians and for all Americans. Protecting Christians from bias is not favoritism. It's upholding the rule of law and fulfilling the constitutional promise."
Earlier in April, State Department employees were ordered to report anyone exhibiting anti-Christian bias. One state official who chose to remain anonymous commented, saying, "It's very Handmaid's Tale-esque." Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche said,
"Our government's purpose is to secure rights, not restrict them. So, yes, this task force has a big job ahead, but it's a vital one, and it's one that we're going to get done."
What do you think about the task force to eradicate anti-Christian bias? Let us know in the comments. Pam Bondi.
okay, well, most of the people in the comments were talking about the separation of church and state, which is being eroded by the forces of Christian nationalism every single day in this country. It is obviously bizarre. There are laws. Look, we used to have a more robust right to making pro-choice choices in this country, and obviously they want to roll that back. But so the anti-Christian bias is a law that was passed by Congress. So they are claiming that to be anti-Christian bias, but people do have a right to seek, medical care at facilities in this country. And this woman was contravening that law. So is that anti-Christian bias? I would not say so. And a Christian is allowed to have whatever beliefs they have. But the government is allowed to make rules in order to protect the rights of everyone, regardless of if they're religious of any kind or not religious. And so that's what's going on there. And so it's kind of, decontextualized from the reality that our administration is acting on behalf of the Christian nationalist billionaires who want to destroy the Constitution and create a theocracy in this country. I've talked to people, MAGA folks online, who talk about Sharia law. Well, guess what? That is literally what the Trump administration's supporters and people in the administration who are funded and paid and supported by right-wing billionaire extremist Christian nationalists. That's what's going on in this country. So let's keep moving on with the news with Deuce. So that is terrifying. Handmaid's Tale is coming to America. Let's get into this one next. And so sorry, Grayson, if this show is not hilarious for you today. We do want everyone to understand that at all times we are in an information war. Every time you pick up your phone, on the other side is a giant dickhead, a scared little boy with tons of money and resources. They may be a global authoritarian. They may be a local oligarch. They do not care about you, and they are fearful and scared themselves, feelings of inadequacy, whatever it may be, that haunts them every single day. And even though they have beautiful lives with tons of wealth and resources, they do not have beautiful lives because they are so scared, and they are fear's agents in this world, and they are lashing out and perpetuating the patterns of cycles of abuse and violence, of domination, persecution, and bigotry. And so we need to push back against that at all times. Absolutely, Hella Sausage. That is the program. That is absolutely the program. These people do not believe in democracy. They believe in theocracy, and they are pushing it on all of us. And once we start to absorb everything that's happening, the destruction of our federal government, right? There's an interesting dovetail where, of course, Elon Musk, he is in a position where he and Peter Thiel and David Sachs and Mark Andreessen, they're just mostly corrupt business dudes, but then they also have these insane ideas, and everyone's doing the best they can with what they have, but pretty wild to be accelerationists, right? They are accelerationists who want to destroy society so that they can enrich themselves and, not fall victim to like heads on pikes kinds of stuff, right? Then we have the accelerationism of the Christian nationalists who, for instance, want to support Israel because they believe deeply in the Bible that the rapture can only happen, and they want the rapture to happen, and so they believe deeply in the Bible's ending, where if Israelites are in Israel, that's the only condition or one of the conditions that has to be met for Jesus to tear a hole in the sky and come down, I don't know, on a winged unicorn or something, and to pick them all up and say, you have always been loved. You are beautiful. I love you. You are not inadequate. You are okay. All of the things, all of the feelings that you had and the weird thoughts you had that filled you with shame, you're beautiful and I love you, and you never have to feel bad again, and let me take care of you. And so they are waiting for that day. And so we have accelerationism coming from two sides in this country, and that is what is motivating our government. But once we see things through the frame, especially of the theocratic Christian nationalist frame, it really starts to make everything make sense, right? If you have no belief in this world other than that, like, God is going to take care of you specifically, and that you have become wealthy and powerful because God favors you, and then you are creating a world where you remain favored, that is a pretty unhealthy worldview. And so we want to usher these people out of the halls of power and onto the couch of therapy. Yes, and so let's keep going through the news with Deuce. So wonderful to be here with you today. I love you. You love me. We are an intergalactic society of beings of pure light that have caught the sun's energy and are sustained by the sun's energy, and at all times are trying to connect on the same frequency. And it is extruded through language. It is extruded through our emotions. It is extruded through our conscious experience, and we are trying to connect, and we find it so hard to connect because of the language and because of the marketing and because of the PR of the Christian right-wing nationalist think tanks that are tearing us apart in this world because they do not believe in democracy. They believe in theocracy. Yes, and 1 million times over. Yes, and our God in this religion is fear. Todd, the God of fear, for Todd so hated the world that he made sure to fuck us all up and keep everyone from achieving their dreams. Yes, and so let's keep reading the news with Deuce. This is how it started and how it's going. So Pete Hegseth arrives at the Pentagon, says war fighters are ready to go. Now CBS News is reporting that Hegseth orders makeup studio installed at the Pentagon. So when we talk about fellow propagandists and manipulators of Hegseth, former colleague at Fox Propaganda Network, Jesse Waters, who says that, talks all the time about how it's like emasculating to stare at a screen all day, how it's emasculating to, buy groceries with your wife, all these things about emasculation, while meanwhile they're wearing full faces of makeup, which I think is totally fine. Do whatever you want. I had a wonderful time being entertained by a drag queen the other day when I performed in a show on Monday in New York City. There was also a drag performer, and they were wonderful. wonderful, and they had a full face of makeup just like Pete Hegseth and Jesse Waters do. But Jesse Waters want to communicate as part of their manipulation and disinformation program that somehow, they want to be hypocritical, and that obviously doesn't matter too much to our MAGA friends and loved ones who are just totally on board so far. But we want to pull our friends and loved ones who are MAGA off of the disinformation stream and on to the fact-based journalism stream. Okay, yes, and here we go. Let's keep going through it. So this is a little information about how Donald Trump is attacking our media ecosystem and how people are more than happy to go along with it, who are wealthy and seeking mergers for their companies to be approved, who are being threatened with $20 billion, $10 billion lawsuits by the government in acts that any libertarian on the MAGA side would used to have been had a huge problem with. Counterfactuals seem to be just do not matter to these folks. And look, everyone's doing the best they can with what they have. But I mean, if Joe Biden was doing any of this stuff, they would lose their friggin' minds. Yes, and so we love you out there. If you are a MAGA person, we want you to call into the show so that we can talk to you about your sources of information. And we want everyone who's watching the show to get active in the chat, whether you are on Twitch or YouTube or anywhere else, because we desperately need people to interact with us. We desperately need people to interact with the account, tap the screen, do all the things, follow, subscribe, like, go to all the social media, share everything that Rev Deuce is doing at all times. Go to publicenlightenment.com, where you can get articles about how to stand up for democracy. You can get articles about how to flood the zone with facts about due process, right? And this is an article that we produced yesterday. So it's got all the stuff you need to know in a nice little place. And then it tells you about fact-based influencers that you can log on to and share so that you could be a fact warrior, because all of our problems in this world are the result of information, and our information ecosystem currently is toxic. We are all sucking down the media information diet equivalent of milkshakes full of dog shit and broken glass. And then we look out at society and wonder why we are unhealthy. So let's make a meme, first of all, of what our media diet is. That's what I'm going to do today. That's going to be amazing. So then there's also one article to school them all. So there's this factcheck.org article. So please go to this article at publicenlightenment.com and share that as widely as you possibly can, so that more people can be hip to the reality that publicenlightenment.com is out there every single day working to expand people's awareness and understanding. And then we look at it to provide the context that we all need to understand the news. Yes, and thank you so much. Please keep supporting and liking Rev Deuce wherever you are in the world. So CBS is inevitably shifting further right to coddle Trumpism after the merger with David Ellison's son of Larry Ellison, Skydance anyway. So I suspect this producer knows he's in a lose-lose scenario. So this is a story about how the top producer at 60 Minutes has quit. He says he can no longer run the show as he always has. So these attacks on the media are strategic attacks. Every single fascist achieves their aims through propaganda. And so when Donald Trump first came into power, he employed the fascist playbook immediately, which was to call the press the enemy of the people. And everyone knows that if you are a leader, you do that so that when you are corrupt, when you are found to be doing corrupt things, that the people who pay attention to you and who love you and you have indoctrinated into your worldview, and you have spread disinformation so that they accept a reality that does not fulfill their life and their joy, so that you just ignore the evidence of your eyes and ears. It's extremely Orwellian, and that is the program of Donald Trump. Yes, and okay, so that's totally a messed up story. We're going to drop this into the Chickadee chat. Sorry, we're going to drop this into Fact Warriors in our Discord. We'd love for you to join our Discord and grow this community with us. Yes, and that would be amazing. Is there anything else that I missed putting into the Discord? I don't know. You tell me. So here we go. Let's keep going through the news with Deuce, and then we'll sing a song in just a little bit. We like to sing songs based on the culture war bullshit that is created by the right wing. The right wing is the only one who talks about the culture war, and then, of course, our mainstream media does, because that's what they do. They launder this stuff into the mainstream. But that's what happens, right? Our culture war is just a fabrication of right-wing think tanks. And if you don't believe me, I've got something to share with you right now. Actually, I should make this into a video. I thought about that. Barry Weiss. Okay, the culture war is made up by the right. That's kind of what that would be. I guess I did already say the culture war is a psyop. Anyway, so we're going to go to an article that is done very well for us here, and we'd love you to share this article as well. But so if you are watching and you do not believe that the culture war was created by people who want to make money by being paid by right-wing billionaires who want to advance a culture war in this country, just take a look at this here on the screen. We've got reporting from the New Yorker from a few years ago about Barry Weiss. Weiss had already begun talking with a few of her friends about creating a new anti-woke organization. Her friends had workshopped a pitch to the Manhattan Institute, a conservative think tank, for a project to create a modern-day Death Star to wage ideological warfare on the enemies of modernity. Their plan involved writing coordinated op-eds and promoting anti-woke content. So it is all manufactured for you at all times. And how do you feel about that? Are you excited to know that you're being manipulated on purpose by people who are just trying to make money from people who want to manipulate you? How does that make you feel out there? We would love to hear about it. Please tap the screen. And you know what? This always reminds me of this sketch. And so this sketch may be a little outdated. I'm just going to type gay because it's about a gay man. But so this sketch may be outdated. And so, but I want to show it to you. Because it reminds me when it's like they had plans for a new anti-woke organization. This always comes into my mind. So if this is offensive, I apologize. It's from a long time ago. I don't remember if it's going to be offensive, but let's just give it a watch. In general, I do love Mr. Show. And in the 1990s when this was produced, I feel like they handled the issues that they did lampoon in a way that was, kind enough, but I could be wrong. So let's just watch it.
I wish.
Oh, it's about that's like a right-wing senator that's throughout that character, so it does lampoon him.
I wish, and the senator wished so hard that he grew magical wings.
I think he's asleep.
Look at him.
Precious old man.
You know, these books for seniors really do the trick. Colorful drawings, big printing, and all their favorite characters. Senator Tinkerbell, the magical right-wing senator. Zim and Zam, the pro golfers in outer space. Lively, the little Bible and his undersea adventure. They're all here in this wonderful series of books. Order now.
Now available in easy-to-swallow caplets. You're watching the What to Think Network.
That guy, by the way, is SpongeBob. That actor is the voice of SpongeBob.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Penny, and I'll see you at the Dallas Joy-a-thon. And thank you for tuning in to Good News today. You know, if you watch us tomorrow, we'll be visiting with Burton Quim, the leader of Overcome, an organization that helps men and women renounce the sin of homosexuality. If you remember, Burton was first with us in 1982 as a college student when he founded Overcome.
Part of the gay conspiracy is recruitment, active recruitment on campus. They tell people it's all right to be a homosexual. And I stupidly got caught up in their propaganda, and now I know that I was just a confused heterosexual, and I'm really who God wants me to be.
We'll hear about Burton's slip into temptation as he was misled by the unrelenting homosexual cabal.
Troy, put that goddamn camera down and join us. It's about fun. Come on, get it, girl. You know what you love. Stop moving it.
And we'll reminisce about his glorious return to the fold at Overcome.
I thought I was happy, but I was miserable. Now I have a wife. And...
Let's see you look.
Okay. And that's me, and that's her.
Handsome.
Mm-hmm. And we're working on a family now. Really are. Very hard. Working very hard on that. And this is the real me you're looking at.
That's good news.
Now I just want to help others. Just want to help.
Then he'll tell us about his second terrible lapse into homosexuality.
I love all of you!
And about his triumphant re-return to the fold.
It's an aberration. Believe me, it's not normal. You're making a choice.
Tell them.
You're making a choice, a terrible, terrible choice. We're here for you. Overcome.
Burton will tell us about his most recent lapse and the lapse he has planned for August, which should take him to Rio de Janeiro. It'll be a glorifying hour of witness. I hope you'll join us. I'm Dr. Rudy Moore. Now stay tuned for The Bible Machine.
Okay, so, I mean, it's really about that ending right there, right, where it's like, and he has another, and about the lapse that he has planned, you know. Anyway, that stuck out in my mind. Okay, Rev Deuce did that. Okay. Anyway, we're so grateful to have you here with us, and we're going to keep watching the news after that little break that we took. We're going to go back and read the news with Deuce. So let's keep going. Here we go. This is Oliver Willis, a Serbic man on the internet. Oliver Willis. He says, what are we talking about? Oh, we're talking about hey, David, this is one of your topics that you like to ask Rev Deuce about. And so this is Greg Sargent. He's talking about, what it means to go on to Fox News, right? And so Oliver Willis is saying, I honestly don't know what to do about this naivete. He says, it's so pervasive. God bless the congresswoman who argued with Laura Ingraham about due process, but her appearance is beyond useless. Ingram's audience will not have their eyes opened. They won't have their minds changed. And she gave Fox content. And so there's also a follow-up here, I think. Is it Oliver Willis? No. Hold on. So he has a piece that he wrote, and I was going to share that with you, David. But does this come back? No, it does not. Interesting. So I just want to share that with you. So I'm going to find that really quick. So we're going to type in Oliver. Oh, it's not working. Hey, Miles, welcome into the program. We are going through the news with Deuce. We are going to maybe start figuring out how to make this part of the day shorter. What am I doing? We're going to figure out how to make this part of the live stream shorter, and then we're going to talk. We're going to have segments, okay? That's what we're going to do in the future. Miles Erickson, welcome in. Thank you for the hearts if that is you. Everyone who's watching across the globe, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are on Instagram, we cannot see your chats because yakety yak, that is that. So let's look at what Oliver Willis. Oh, this person says F Oliver Willis. Oh, okay. Helped popularize the pejorative. This is interesting. Let's see what this is about. This needs to be repeated. Referring to black Democratic voters as blue MAGA is disgusting and racist. The term MAGA, making America great again, suggests a desire to return to the pre-civil rights. It's almost always the whitest ones saying it too. Okay, this is interesting. Help popularize. Okay, so this is an attack against Oliver Willis by some other guy who's mad. And, he says blue MAGA. Look, everything can't be perfect. I don't agree always with Oliver Willis, but I just want to find this one article that he wrote that is about going on to Fox. And it's his perspective on going on to Fox. Takes way too many pictures of his dog. Maybe we take Oliver Willis off of the thing, maybe we take him off. But he does have how 4 Democrats who saved the party before would do it again. He does have acerbic takes, and we appreciate acerbic takes in this time. Okay, we're not finding this article, but maybe, David, we can find it together another time. Oh, here we go. Democrats should stop appearing on Fox News, and this is why. Okay, so we're going to drop this into the Discord specifically for our friend David, and that's what we're going to do. So here we go. If you would like to call into the show and talk to us about your media diet, we would absolutely enjoy that. And then we're going to move on to our last established piece of news that we are going to talk about today. So Stephen Miller, I have not watched this yet. This is Stephen Miller turning the fascism up to 11, according to Aaron
into the
Rupar.
Country that were caught and released into the country, and the millions more that were allowed to either fly into the country or overstay their visas. It is a clear and present danger to the national security of this country, and we have federal judges telling President Trump that he can't deport these threats from our communities. This is the choice facing every American. Either we all side and get behind President Trump to remove these terrorists from our communities, or we let a rogue radical left judiciary shut down the machinery of our national security apparatus. President Trump is going to see this through to his conclusion, and we will find and remove every terrorist from this country, and President Trump will make this nation safer than ever before, and he'll do it over the fighting and opposition of the Democrat Party, over the fighting and opposition of the communist left-wing judges, over the fighting and opposition of the far-left federal bureaucracy. He will not be deterred, Sean. He will see this through, I promise you.
So, I mean, it's something for all of us to contend with, this reality that our fellow Americans, accept these narratives that, centrist or center-right Democratic politicians are communists, right? That, capitalists to the core are radical leftists. You know what I mean? It is regrettable that our fellow loved ones absorb this and believe it. But especially it's terrifying when this man, Stephen Miller, is just lying. Originally, right, it was that they were just going to go after the people who were hardened criminals, right? But we know that 75% of the Venezuelans that they deported in March were nothing but just people who had tried to seek asylum in this country. They were not charged with any criminal acts under the U.S. laws. They were not charged with anything. And good morning, Iron Heel. We love you so much. We're so grateful that you came here. It's so beautiful to see you and to have you here. Look at us in landscape. Am I right? Look how big everything looks. Isn't that so much fun? I love you, Iron Heel, and I'm so grateful for you and your humanity. And I'm so grateful for the humanity of everyone who spends time in the tub of joy with Rev Deuce, beaming to you live from Boca Raton, Florida, where it's always 69. If anybody wants to call in and talk about their media diet, we would absolutely love that. We also want to suggest to people that they tippity-tap-tap the screen on Substack, because we normally have more people in here from Substack, and that's okay, but we just want to talk to more people and spread our message of being fact warriors. So Stephen Miller is talking about how people who are not terrorists are terrorists, right? He's lying, he's scapegoating, he's fear-mongering. That is what the fascist does. We need to push back on that at all times in this world and in this reality. Thank you so much for those of you who are tippy-tapping on the screen over there. Now look, we are going to get back into the main tub here, and we are going to talk about what we do here. We spread love the Brooklyn way. We support people and lift them up. We try to agree with people's ideas even when they are not our own. We give energy, support, commitment, giving, connection, and gratitude, because we know that those are the purest paths towards joy and to love and support in this world, right? Human connection is the best path towards joy. It's the only path towards joy. If you're going and you bowl, say you bowl and you bowl 300 and nobody's there. Does it make a sound? Say you have a big triumph and you have no one to share with it. There's no other humans on earth. Is that going to be joyful? Absolutely not. Iron Heel, we appreciate your calming chats. We appreciate your love and we appreciate your affection. And Iron Heel, we know that you are a beautiful being of light. And so how will you connect with people today? How will you love people today? How will you make a difference in this world today for someone who may be struggling on the disinformation propaganda stream, someone who may be falling victim to fear's patterns of hate, doubt, persecution, shame, inadequacy, and violence? How will we all meet people where they are and reach across our divides that have been made for us by the scared little boys who need to be ushered out of the halls of power and onto the couch of therapy? How will we all do that today? How will we save the nation with healthy, fact-based information? If you believe in what we are doing here, we would love for you to tell everyone on the friggin' planet. So what do we want to do with our energy right now? The tub is yours. The tub is ours. The tub is mine. The tub is everyone's. The tub, I should have said, is divine, because that would have rhymed, and people love the magic trick of rhyming. So it is 10:24. I think that what we're going to do right now is have a little bit of fun. So let's improvise a song based on the suggestion of a genre and based on a culture war bullshit missile that is meant to be a psychological armament against all of our minds, especially our MAGA loved ones. So if you would type the suggestion into the chat of a right-wing culture war talking point that they generate in the think tanks, That's what they do every single day. That's why we have the reality that we do. That's why we have the outcomes in this country that we do. That's why we have a government that is, one of the most corrupt individuals ever to walk the planet, leading our government, and Americans saying that he is a man of God because they go to church and they are manipulated by their pastors. Isn't that terrible? Isn't that terrible? Oh, look, there's video links of the show that I did. You know what we're going to do while we wait for people to type that? I know Madison and David, you've already seen this, but what we are going to do actually is we are going to watch Rev Deuce give a speech the other night. And I think that that will be fun for the audience, and maybe, we might share this in the future as well. So, if you see this again, it's okay. We are going to post it as well to the internet. So here we go. I'm going to download this. I'm going to start that download. How long is that going to take? Well, it's going to take a long ass time. So why don't we sing a song? So I'm still waiting for y'all. Are you here? God, can you hear me? It's me, Brian. Deuce, oops, my real name. Can you believe it? I have a real name. So please, would you type into the chat the suggestion of a culture war bullshit made up fabrication that the right-wing think tanks use to destroy the nation? Please do that now. I'm waiting. Your friend Deuce is waiting patiently for you to do that so that he can sing a song for you. What we've really enjoyed, some of the genres we've really enjoyed in the past are the country genre. What did we do yesterday that was really nice? The bluegrass genre is kind of okay. Jason says yes, yes, yes. Jason, that's because you want to watch the show. Okay, cool. Well, we're going to do that. But Jason, in addition to yes, 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 how about we get a suggestion of anything that is the culture war bullshit machine generated indoctrination to ruin the nation. And then while we're doing that, your pal Rev Deuce is pulling up the machine here, and he's ready. He's ready. Rev Deuce is ready. So I don't know what's happened. I don't know if people have fallen off of the internet. I don't know if the internet is not working today. But we are here and we are ready to use the internet to do stuff. And so, hello, where are you? Hello, everybody. Okay, boys and girls locker room. There we go, boys and girls locker rooms. Boys and girls locker rooms. So that is a bullshit thing that the right likes to talk about in the style of The Cure. Okay, wow, in the style of The Cure. What would The Cure's music be called? Interesting. So let's go back to the screen share so people know that Rev Deuce is making it all up. So David, with love and joy and kindness in our hearts, Jason Dyer in the Substack has suggested boys in the girls' locker room. And that's going to be a tough one for Rev Deuce. And so what we are doing here is we're finding The Cure. What would The Cure be? 80s emo? 80s synth wave? That's not really. I kind of like that one. I'm just going to go with that one because I kind of like it. I hope that's okay. I hope that's okay, Iron Heel. But here we go. Okay, we are going to improvise a song now based on the suggestion. Let me get the levels just right. Let me turn this stuff off. I need to create a thing so we can do this really quickly. Why won't it move? Why can't I move this? Hold on. Okay, we're just getting everything queued up. Hold on one second, everybody. I love you. You love me. We are a global family of love and support, so I know you will support me as I get ready to do the song. Okay, here we go. So this is a song we are improvising based on the suggestion of 80s and Okay, so this is a song we are doing based on the suggestion of like 80s new wave music and on the suggestion. Okay, sorry, I just want to make this really good. So this is the suggestion Okay. So we are improvising a song based on the suggestion of the genre being 80s and of the topic being the culture war bullshit idea that boys want to be in girls' locker rooms and somehow trans people are a perpetuation of that idea. Here we go. They say that the boys want to be with the girls in the girls' bathroom. Yeah, they say that the boys want to be with the girls in the girls' bathroom. Where are all the cases of all the boys being in the girls' bathroom? I'm having trouble. Okay, I should do it a little lower. I'm going to do it again. The boys don't want to be in the girls' bathroom. No, no. Disinformation agents on the right, they say that boys will dress up as girls and go into the girls' bathroom. But when has anyone ever done that? They want you to be afraid. Look at the world they have made. One of fear and hate and all this shame. One where they tell you things that are lame, like boys are gonna dress up as girls so they can go into the girls' bathroom. It's not something that's happening anywhere. Why do you believe them? If a man wants to attack women, there's no planet on which he would dress up like a woman and take hormones and get surgery. That's not what a sexual assaulter does. No, that's what something that man who is a sexual assaulter does. A transgender person is just a person. They're not a person who wants to commit sexual crimes. In fact, if you look at the statistics, Republican men commit most of the sexual crime. Based on statistics, it's projection. There are no boys dressing up as women with a regularity to attack women. This hasn't really been a song. I'm so sorry I had trouble. Okay, so that was not my best effort. I feel like I owe y'all another effort. So I'm going to do another one. We're going to do another one. It's all synthwave. This is what? Why is it only synthwave? What is it called? What would the genre of The Cure be called? We're singing another song. Rev Deuce didn't like what he did, and he's going to make it up for everybody. What would the genre be called? 80s new wave? But then I'm just going to get synthwave. It's like the only thing that existed in the 80s was this kind of music. It's so weird. You know, do I type in Love Cats? Okay, I don't want to lose everybody, but here we go. This is what we're doing. Like Love Cats. We're going to type in Love Cats. Did my computer stop working? What's going on? Hello? Earth to Earth. What's going on? Oh. Wonderfully, wonderfully pretty. Okay, we're going to do Cat's Paradise. Here we go. Here we go, everybody. I'm so sorry. So we are doing a song right now, improvising based on the suggestion of the culture war, right-wing think tank bullshit idea that girls are being attacked by boys who dress up as girls to go in their bathrooms. Here we go, making it up as we go. A man who wants to attack women, and so instead of attacking women as a man, I will just dress up as a woman. I'll go seek medical treatment. I'll pay thousands and thousands of dollars to change my body with hormones. It's absurd to think that... Oh, yo, I'm doing such a bad job. I'm doing such a bad... Deuce is doing such a bad job, everybody. Oh, my God. Deuce is doing such a bad job. And Deuce is feeling really like he's failing here today. It has never felt this way before. So Deuce is so sorry. Hey. So maybe it's hard to improvise as Robert Smith. What I do, yeah. Oh boy, everybody! This is wacky. This is this is one of the first times that you're seeing Rev Deuce fail at streaming. He can't find the right mood. He can't find the right genre. He can't find the right thing, and he is not doing a good job. I think I'm so flummoxed by the idea of singing about boys in girls' bathrooms. That it's really giving me a tough time here, and I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm so sorry. I'm just really, really sorry, and I apologize. And so let me just see if I can just get there, and we're gonna see if we can just get there. We're so grateful for everyone who's putting up with Rev Deuce as he fails for one of the first times. And he's losing everybody. He knows it. He knows it. He knows it. Why do you long to be him? Okay, we're going to do it to this. We're going to do something to this Okay, here we go. We are improvising a song based on the culture war We are improvising a song based upon the culture war right-wing think tank bullshit idea that men are dressing up as women and transitioning in order to attack women. Yes, and here we go. My greatest aim in life is to attack women in bathrooms. And so I'll do it today. But wait, if I go into a bathroom as a man, someone will say you can't do that, so wait. I've gotta dress up as a woman first. That's right. But wait, if I just dress up as a woman, someone will probably clock me as a man. So in order to fulfill my dream of attacking women, I must get on some medication. So I'll go to the doctor, I'll tell them I'm actually a trans woman, and I will get surgeries to change my body, and thousands of dollars later, finally, I will walk into the bathroom and fulfill my dream of being a man who attacks women. Because I finally figured out the only way I can attack women, 'cause it's not like regular men who are sexual predators just fulfill their desire and go out the day they want to attack women and then just do it. No, they have to do the most convoluted thing in the world. Oh wait, it's just a disinformation propaganda technique from people who are paid by billionaires to manipulate you. I think we did it. I think we finally got there, and it was totally worth it. So that was a song we improvised about the culture war bullshit idea that somehow men who want to somehow men who want to attack women and abuse them and assault them, they are going to do it in bathrooms, and they are going to dress up as women in order to do it. Sometimes spend all of the money and deal with all of the shame that our society creates for transgender people to become a transgender person just so they can get off their horny desire as a cis hetero man to violate a woman. So that is an idea that has been created for you, MAGA, by people who want you to be distracted from the fact that billionaires want to destroy our country, destroy our Constitution, rip it up, and create a theocracy for their specific version of Christianity. MAGA, that is an idea that has been created for you so that you are distracted from all of the things they are doing to undermine our Constitution, our ability to seek our own joy. And just a reminder that the majority of sexual predators seem to be heterosexual men in this country. Not seem to be, that's who it is. So you're just being sold an outrageous lie. And we love you, MAGA. We just want you to get on the fact-based stream of information and off of the propaganda stream of information. And we are so excited for you, especially to get onto the fact-based stream of information. So I think actually that last song was an absolute banger, and it's going to take the internet by storm. And so I'm so grateful for all of you today. Now, would someone like to call in and talk to us about their media diet? Would someone like to call in and talk to us about their fears? Would someone like to call into the show and talk to us about how they felt about the program today? Did they learn anything? Did they find out anything about the world or themselves in the process? Because as always, this is a journey for all of us. Can we get a sermon from Deuce on self-compassion based in the church's tenets? All right, I'm going to improvise a sermon now because David asked me to. Then we will play the video of Deuce's speech that he gave the other day, and we will end the program, so stick around for all of this. So Rev Deuce is about to improvise a sermon based on self-compassion, based on the tenets of the Megachurch of Joy, which is a religion founded on the tenets of quality improvisational comedy, energy, support, commitment, giving, connection, and gratitude. Today's sermon is called Justin Bieber, Love Yourself. Often in this world, we are born into a place that we do not immediately understand. We are born into a life that is confusing, a life that is full of contradiction, a life that is full of fear's cycle of abuse and violence. Yes, fear, our God, for Todd, the God of fear, so hated the world that he made sure to fuck us all up and keep everyone from achieving their dreams. And we see so much of ourselves in the path, the life, the loves, and the failures of Justin Bieber, Canadian pop legend who has been through a tumultuous experience himself, and we can see ourselves in that tumultuous experience. Justin Bieber, a young man who grew up understanding that when he used his gifts of singing and of dancing, that he could get people to like him, that he could get people to accept him, and he loved the idea of being loved and accepted, being on that stage and dancing and singing. What a thrill, what a joy. It feels like love when a crowd of strangers is cheering for you. But in fact, the idea, the dynamic of being on a stage and being separated from that audience, it feels sometimes like there is connection between the artist and the audience, but so often in this world, there is no connection between the audience and the artist. So often it is the case that we are projecting things onto those spaces. When we are in the audience watching our favorite performer on stage, we are saying that, yes, we are connected to this person, even though they are a stranger. And when we are the performer on the stage, we are saying, well, my audience loves me. I am connected to them, even though we do not personally know them at all. And we may get enrichment from those dynamics on either side, but ultimately it is not as pure and special and as much of a connection as we may get from a one-to-one interaction where we listen to others, not just their songs or their cheers, but where we listen to their humanity. We listen to their struggles and their pain. We listen to everything that they want to tell us and share with us, and we listen with open ears, and they know that we are doing so because we practice the idea of listening and agreeing and giving the gift to others of our support and our supportive listening and agreeing. And so Justin Bieber grew up and he thought that he was on the Joy program, but it turned out that he was on the Fear program. Justin Bieber grew up in this world and he was manipulated and he was violated by people that he thought he could trust. And that will do a number on anyone, just as you who listening in the audience today may have had your trust violated, your faith in another person violated. And so we all know that feeling of betrayal. We all know that feeling of doubt. We all know feelings of shame. And it is so easy when we start to get on Fear's program. It is so easy to feel shame and to let the shame fester. And to say, I can't believe I let that happen to myself. I can't believe I was so weak. I can't believe I was so misguided. I can't believe I didn't know that the people around me wanted to harm me. Can't believe that I was not aware. And then so what we do is we work on our awareness. The first gift that we give ourselves in the Megachurch of Joy is the gift of forgiveness. We forgive others as we forgive ourselves. The first step in overcoming fear's patterns of shame and doubt, of inadequacy, is self-forgiveness. And so when we give ourselves the gift of self-forgiveness, when we give ourselves the gift of listening to our own fears, our own shame, our own doubt, we can start to move on to the other tools of the Megachurch of Joy, the tools we use to push back against fear's patterns of shame. And sometimes it's hard to enact a program of self-forgiveness. And so what we do is we tell other people about it, because human connection is the surest path to joy. We are not always going to find that when we seek out a human connection, the other person across from us has the skills necessary to help us. But that is okay. Just as we do in improv, we say, I made a mistake, and we forgive ourselves. In that moment when we say, I made a mistake, we absolve ourselves. And so we see, when we look at the pattern of Justin Bieber's life, we see that over the course of his life, tumultuous as it was, ups and downs as there were, violations as there were, that eventually he got to a place 6 years ago where he created a song called Love Yourself. And that song was a message that was able to connect him with so many people. 215 million views on YouTube. Millions of people were able to receive Justin Bieber's message after he was able to receive the message himself that he should love himself. That he was able to reach out across the world to people and tell them that they should love themselves. And so we see in the story of Justin Bieber, the story of ourselves, the paths of our own lives as we are born into this world, and fears patterns of shame and guilt and doubt, of violence, of persecution and bigotry, of aggression and manipulation are pushed onto us. We can find ourselves doing things and behaving in ways and being in places where we make mistakes, and we are filled with shame for those mistakes. But over time, if we are on the Megachurch of Joy, if we do use the 6 tools of understanding that we can change our energy and be in control of our energy, understanding that it is better to support and love than to judge and hate, understanding that it is better to give than to take, understanding that it is better to connect than push away, understanding that it is better to commit than to waffle. When we use those tenets in the face of fears, patterns of shame and of doubt, we can begin to forgive ourselves, and we can begin to love ourselves. And when we love ourselves, we are then able to open our energy, to open our arms, to embrace not only our own fears, but the fears of other people in this world. And when we embrace others, we connect with them, we find joy. We are all just beings of light vibrating on different frequencies, trying to seek frequency agreement and vibing on the same with everyone else in this world. And the surest path to do that is to open your energy and say, I am here for you. I love you. You have made mistakes. You have made errors. You have felt shame. I do not care about any of those feelings other than what you want to share with me. And I am not here to shame you or judge you. I am only here to support you. When we give people pure, unadulterated support from the core fiber of our light being, we are that much closer to connecting And human connection is the surest path towards joy. So this is your old pal Rev Deuce telling you today that you should love yourself, telling you today that you are a beautiful being of light. And just as Justin Bieber was able to grow and change and learn that he should love himself and tell others that they should love themselves, well, that's the deal. That's the whole friggin' deal. So I'm so grateful for you today. We are going to now watch Rev Deuce. And that was the sermon, Justin Bieber, Love Yourself. I hope it was okay. So, all right, here we go. Here comes your old pal, Rev Deuce. We are going to show you Rev Deuce's performance the other day in New York City. And so we are just going to call up the window share. Where do we find it? Oh, we got to go over here. That's right. And so we're so grateful for all of you. If you liked today's program, please let other people know about it. If you are interested in being a fact warrior, please come join the Discord. The link is everywhere. If you want to be a fact warrior, you can just be a fact warrior. You can go out into the world and you can share your humanity with others at any time. And you can share your beautiful knowledge that everything that we do in this world should be done from the understanding that information is everything in this world. Information is our outcomes. Information is how we in this world. Now, interesting. Hold on one second, everybody. Rev Deuce is getting a little confused. Information is everything. And I love you and you love me, and I'm so grateful for you. So grateful for you. And I just love all of you so much. I got a little distracted. I'm so sorry. In the middle of my spiel, I was spieling and I got distracted. So let's just do a display capture. And we're just going to add the source. And okay, that's it right there. Done. And then we're going to put this display capture behind some stuff. Put it behind our video capture device. And I don't know why that's like that, but well, I want you to be able to see my graphs and stuff. So maybe we'll just make it a little bit smaller. Excuse me one second, everyone, while I just do this, okay? Oh, brother. Hey, everybody, I love you so much. Just bear with your old pal, Rev Deuce here. He's just doing something. Okay, I think this should be pretty good. So this is your pal, Rev Deuce. I do not really understand why this is behaving like this. Hold on one second. Rev Deuce is going to share with you this fun stuff that he did recently. He's so grateful for you. And so Rev Deuce is just getting it going. That's Rev Deuce.
And too many of us do not.
I also love her.
Okay, here we go. Here's Rev Deuce doing his thing in New York City. This is a sermon I gave the other day. 2 sermons in a row. Crazy.
Buddy doing? Let
Here
me
we
see.
go.
Oh, hold on. Oops. Do we have the... Is it working or did I mess something up? Oop. Hold on now. Hey, cool. Hey, everybody. I'm Rev Deuce. Welcome. Or welcome me. I don't know. Y'all look so beautiful. Could you just all turn to each other and just tell each other that you love each other right now? Literally, how often do we say I love you to people? How often do we say I love you to strangers? especially in this time where we're calling each other, you know, libtards and low-T soy boys and maggots and all that kind of stuff. So we're pushing back against that. So improv is love. Yes, sir. I'm Rev Deuce Hansberry. I'm Rev Deuce Hansberry, and the religion I created, the Megachurch of Joy, uses the tenets of quality improvisational comedy to help people break free from fear's embrace and achieve joy. And I'm also an information nutritionist. Now, there's no time to explain what the hell those two things mean together. I've only got 8 minutes, so can I get a yes and? Yes. Thank you so much. That's what we say in my religion. So, my sermon this evening is called Milkshakes of Dog Shit and Broken Glass. We're here tonight to talk about fascism, an ideology so terrible, so scary, that we made it impossible for the average person to define. But don't worry, I got your back. Fascism is the totalitarian marriage of state and corporate power built upon a fear-based program of persecution, bigotry, and violence. Fascists lie and fearmonger and scapegoat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. No one was doing that. They destroy our possibilities for joy and infect us with fear and uncertainty. In the face of their program of fear, we ask, what are we to do? How are we to act? Who will save us? Will there be a Matlock season 2? What has each of us done to confront the fascist program of shame and doubt, dominance and cruelty? Have you marched in the street, or have you just sent an angry tweet? How complicit is each of us in the rise of American fascism? This guy looks like he's licked a boot or two. The answer is we are all complicit because fascists achieve their aims through propaganda. And for too long, we've all been sitting on the sidelines of the information war. The best 3 hours I spent in my life making that graphic. That's right, thank you so much. That's right, every single time you pick up your phone, fascist dickheads are on the other side. Elon Musk, Vladimir Putin, and the right-wing billionaires who own the means of communication tune the headlines and the algorithms to divide us, to drain us of our civic energy, and to distract us while they grab even more power for themselves. The culture war is nothing less than a missile manufactured by the psychological arms dealers and conservative think tanks to achieve total victory over our minds. Our fascist outcome is the result of the information we consume. Can I get a yes and? Yes. Most of the information we know about the world is told to us by someone else. And when it comes to our media diets, too many of us are happy to suck down the information equivalent of a dog shit and broken glass milkshake that's just been handed to us by some random stranger on rollerblades. How did we get fascism in America? Because information becomes our outcomes, and too many of us do not care about the quality of our own media diets or the media diets of others. Yes, friends, information is everything. If you knew more facts about the world in 2024, you were more likely to vote for Kamala Harris. Not a fascist, although a cop. If you consulted no news at all, you were more likely to vote for Donald Trump. This is a mix of humor and deep information. How did we get fascism in America? Because the billionaires on the right have built one of the most effective propaganda machines this world has ever seen. Fox News co-founder Roger Ailes wrote a memo in the 1970s called A Plan for Putting the GOP on TV News. In it he wrote, people are lazy. With television you just sit, watch, listen. The thinking is done for you. And we sit idly by as Fox propaganda obliterates minds at every gym, pizza place, and doctor's office, too afraid to say something about the mind violence it spreads. How did we get fascism in America? Because the first thing a dictator does is attack the press. The fascists have been saying for years that the press is the enemy of the people, and yet we didn't take to the streets then. And now Jay and I can have a polite thumb war later. I live stream every protest I go to. Sorry. Because if a protest happens and the mainstream media doesn't cover it, does it make a sound? Thank you. How did we get fascism in America? Because the propaganda stream MAGA consumes is so powerful, it can drastically change how they feel about national news in the course of just 1 week. Remember Signalgate? It's back in the news, baby. He's texting his brother, he's texting his sister. But look at this. In just 1 week, do you see that? 60 to 47, that equals 13%. Everybody else, normal. How did we get fascism in America? Thank you for that, oh my God. If you want, you can turn it into a yes and. Because we are letting our TVs in our homes and in our hands do the thinking for us. 40% of people under the age of 30 get their news from influencers online. And over 60% of influencers do not fact check their information at all. And only 12% of us pay for any news of any kind. Do you? We are, thank you, yes and. We are swimming in a toxic sea of propaganda and barely anyone is wearing a life vest. So it's no wonder half of us are cheering our country's destruction, while the other half takes to the streets. How did we get fascism in America? There are 2 streams of information in this country, the propaganda stream and the fact-based journalism stream. And too often our fact-based corporate journalism pacifies us, makes false equivalence between the MAGA extremists and everyone else, and maintains the status quo even when the status quo is rising fascism. Milkshakes of dog shit and broken glass. I'd like us all now to bow our heads for the moment of silent reflection on what about fascism scares the shit out of us. Please bow your heads and think about your day, your week, your month, or even your year. And he will be there for you. Fear. What about fascism scares us the most? We reflect in silence. Or we eat some popcorn. Okay, shout them out. Somebody shout out your fear that you associate with fascism. Can I get somebody to say something?
Death camps.
Death camps, that's a good one. Anybody else? A fear of fascism?
Salvador.
Salvador. Okay, being El Salvadoran, getting sent to El Salvador. Dachau is now CSOT. Am I right? Okay, any others?
Never seeing your family again.
Never seeing your family again. These are legitimate fears. Very legitimate fears. And so, folks, when we have support of our community, we can do anything. Did you know that? We are building community here tonight. So I want you all to come together now, and I want you all to say with me, these are my fears, and I embrace them. On the count of 3, okay? Whatever your silent fear was, whatever your spoken fear was. 1, 2, 3. These are my fears, and I embrace them. Yes, and. It's scary as fuck out there, everybody. It is scary as fuck. That's right, when we embrace fear, we lessen his power over us. The time for sitting on the sidelines is over. We are going to give a shit about the media diets of everyone in this country. It's an information war, a battle for the American mind. 1/3 of your fellow soldiers have been made turncoats by the enemy. We will win them back. We will save us, you and me. The billionaires may have the resources to spew propaganda and hate, but there are tens of millions of us, and together we will overwhelm the algorithms with joy and love. No longer will we let the fascists make reality for us. Let's pretend there's booming, growing music here. Indulging fears, patterns of cynicism and doubt. When they are determined to flood the zone with shit, what do? Flood the zone with facts. We will become fact warriors, fighting for truth and democracy, using our collective power to make a new, fact-based reality. It sounds like you're all are on board from all the hooping and hollering you're doing. So log on to publicenlightenment.com. Yes, that's my website. Learn how to improve your media diet and find and spread fact-based information. Come and worship at the Megachurch of Joy, streaming every 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday on most streaming platforms. Sponsored by Grass Milk. Grass Milk Soar. We must stop being the victims of fear. We must be warriors for truth as it accords with facts and reality. And yes, I do actually live stream for 2 hours every morning, and this is really what I believe about the world. For only the truth will set you free. There is nothing but fear to fear but fear itself. And so in the face of almighty fear, how do we listen and agree? How will you support and commit? How will you give gifts and be grateful? Just as the improviser does on the stage of comedy, you can do on the stage of life. How will you use your energy to connect with others across our divides? Because the giant dickheads, the scared little boys, acting out fear's patterns of violence, cruelty, persecution, domination, and bigotry are nothing but little children who need to be ushered off the hall of power and into the room of therapy. Fact warriors, mount up! Follow the fear. Yes, sir. That's it.
All right, I thought that was pretty good. You know, it's interesting when you watch it back to see what it is that you think you could have improved on. I think right there at the end when I did the thing about people's fears, I should have done maybe that last speech. The last paragraph, that should have come after the other thing. I just blew out my ears. I cannot hear anything. I blew out my ears in some of these headphones. Okay, so that's what we did just there. So I'm so grateful for you. I think that was kind of fun for folks. I hope it was fun for folks. Let me try to figure out how to get this off of the screen. I can't. There we go. But okay, there we go. All right. So, hey, everybody, it was so good to be with you here today. I'm your pal, Rev Deuce. We are grateful for Hella Sausage, our new follower. We need 7,000 new followers every single day. So who are you talking to about the Public Enlightenment Program? Who are you talking to about the Megachurch of Joy? We are so grateful for you. We want you to go out today and be an agent of light, a being of joy and wonder and light in this world. Be curious. Play to the top of your intelligence. Love everyone as best you can. Make other people look like rock stars. Be that being of light and that fact warrior in this world at a time when we so desperately need the energy of human connection. Because human connection is the surest path towards joy. So, how will you use your energy today? Did you know that you can be in control of your energy at all times, even when it seems impossible, even when you are down in the dumps, even if you are clinically depressed? You have the ability to say something about your energy in the face of fear's program, in the face of depression. You can have a conversation with yourself and decide if you are able to do something with your energy. And in fact, I do recommend that everybody who's struggling with controlling their energy, they go and take an improv class. If you can muster the energy to get to that level 1 improv class, I guarantee you it will start to shape your humanity in some way. I really do. I really believe that deeply in my bones. And if you do not believe that and you want to join live and talk to me about that and talk to me how hard of an idea that is, I would love to do that with you. I love you so much. Everyone should love everyone else so much. In fact, it is the teaching of Jesus that is being warped by Christian nationalists that is part of our problem in this world. The idea that they have that is a patronizing, a patriarchal idea of love, when Jesus would in no way support that if he was here with us today. So this is a secular religion based on the tenets of quality improvisational comedy, but we do like to point out how easy it is for people to judge and to hate, especially people who purport to be acting in the path, walking the path of Christ. They find it so much easier to judge and to hate than it is to love and support. But those of us in the Megachurch of Joy, those of us in the Megatub of Joy, beaming to you live from Boca Raton, Florida, where it is always 69 degrees, we know that we can overcome fear's patterns. We know that we can push back on his program of division that is being perpetrated by the billionaires and the oligarchs who, if you and I had $1 billion, we would just chill. But these people cannot chill because they suffer from feelings of inadequacy, from feelings of guilt, from feelings of shame, that they have built up psychological walls and barriers to human connection in order to get through the day psychologically. Yet they are perpetuating these patterns that are so painful and damaging to all of us. And so we thank you so much for being with us here today. We love you so much. Pay attention to Deuce's accounts. Deuce has accounts over here on Public Enlightenment. That is for shizzle. We also have, let me get some more stuff going on here. Let me get it going. Baby, 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 ooh, ooh, baby, 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 ooh, ooh, baby, 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 ooh, baby, 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 ooh, baby, 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 ooh. We're just going to keep singing baby, 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 ooh. And if you like the way you look right now, then baby, you should go and love yourself. Okay, but so we want to go over here to Blue Sky. We want to go over here and we want to click on Blue Sky. We want to follow Rev Deuce on Blue Sky, but more so the Blue Sky is for you. The Blue Sky is so that you can go to these lists. You can use these lists to get fact-based information about the world that is off of the legacy media mainstream, that is off of the right-wing propaganda, disinformation stream, and we want you to go here and this be where you get your news every single day, okay? We want you to be where this is where you get the Trump Accountability War Room. We want you to be where this is where you get the ideas from other people who are not dyed-in-the-wool MAGA supporters who treat the president of the country like no other Americans have treated the president of the country before. Charlie Kirk criticizes the Trump administration for detaining tough students. That's pretty fascinating. Charlie Kirk, still a disinformer paid by Christian. I want to see what he says here.
Deporting somebody because they wrote an op-ed critical of Israel, I think that's probably in the gray area.
So would you say that there's some things that the administration's done on immigration where you think they haven't been sufficiently respectful of First Amendment rights? Is that fair to say?
No, I wouldn't even say that. I would say that we run a little bit of a problem if we are going to say that the criteria to get your visa revoked is writing an op-ed. Now, that might be an exaggeration by somebody.
Yeah.
Right? But if the op-ed was not even critical of America, which it was critical of a foreign country.
Right.
And again, I'm very pro-Israel as I say this.
Right.
And let me tell you why. I actually think it creates more anti-Israel hostility and anti-Semitism when it looks as if such a strong hand of the government is going to come in, deporting somebody because they wrote an op-ed.
Okay, so that is the lightest critique possible. And of course, Charlie Kirk supports Israel because he is paid by billionaire extremists, Christian nationalists who believe that Israelis have to be on Israeli land for the rapture to happen. That is true. These wealthy white people who seem like normal Americans, they are religious extremists who are waiting desperately for the rapture. They want to bring it about in this country. Look up Seven Mountains, look up Dominionism, look